Let me extend my heartfelt thanks and gratitude for Madam Sunanda Rajindra, Secretary General of Indo-Africa Chamber of Commerce and Industry, for inviting me to make a presentation on business and investment opportunities in Ethiopia with focus on agriculture and agro-processing, pharmaceutical, mining, and ITC sectors. My presentation will be divided as follows. First, I'll try to make Ethiopia at a glance. Second, I'll try to make presentation for reason to do business and investment in Ethiopia. And thirdly, I'll try to dwell with specific sectors. And finally, I'll try to touch upon Indo-Ethiopian trade and investment relationship. Accordingly, Ethiopia is one of the oldest independent country in Africa, with ancient civilization dates back to 3,000 years. It is strategically located as a jumping point in the Horn of Africa, close to Middle East and European markets. Ethiopia is known as a land of origin, as being origin of human being and the birthplace of coffee. Coffee is originated in Ethiopia, and it is Ethiopian gift to the world. Ethiopia's principal exports includes coffee, oilseeds, pulses, flours, vegetables, sugars, as well as minerals and garment, leather, and leather products. Having said this about Ethiopia in short, as an introduction, I would like to dwell with the second part, reasons why to invest in Ethiopia. Here I'll try to explain the political factors, the economic factors, the market factors, and the low-cost production factors to do business and investment in Ethiopia. When it comes to politically, Ethiopia is one of the most stable countries in the Horn of Africa, and peace and stability is paramount important to do business and investment in Ethiopia. So a leadership in Ethiopia is dedicated in restoring and maintaining peace and stability, not only in Ethiopia, as well as in the regions as well. As you are all aware of it, our Prime Minister, because of restoring peace with a neighboring country, Eritrea, had won 2019 Nobel Peace Prize. It is a leadership not only dedicated to peace and stability, but a leadership with no tolerance to corruptions. Ethiopia is a country with the lowest crime rate in Africa. So the commitment of leadership to peace and stability is important, and peace and stability are paramount important to do business and investment. The second is economic factors. Ethiopia offers conducive economic factors to do business and investment in Ethiopia. Ethiopia is one of the fastest growing economy in the world, in Africa, and since 2005 registered an average of about 11% growth. As a result of stable macroeconomic environment, Ethiopia became one of the top destinations of foreign direct investment in Africa. The economy is growing, the middle income class is growing. So it is a country with growing economy and which is suitable, also conducive to do business and investment in Ethiopia. The third factor is market. Ethiopia has a very favorable market factors to do business and investment in Ethiopia. Ethiopia has the second largest population in Africa, more than 110 million population, which is a huge domestic market. Second, Ethiopia had a market access to the African market. which is 1.3 billion market in Africa. Ethiopia is a member of African Continental Free Trade Area, which is a market of 1.3 billion. Ethiopia is a founding member and a member, so to do business, it is another huge market factor to do business in Ethiopia. Ethiopia had a market access to the USA through AGOA African Growth and Opportunity Act, where quota-free and tax-free market access to the African market, and quota-free and tax-free market access to EU under everything but arms scheme. Ethiopia had a preferential market access to China, Canada, Australia, Japan, and India as well. So Ethiopia offers a very favorable market to do business and investment in Ethiopia. Huge domestic market, African market 1.3 billion, USA and the European market as well. And the fourth factor is low cost of production factors. Here I would like to touch upon factors for the cost of production. One is labor. Out of 110 million population, more than 70% are below 30 years. We have a very active and easily trainable labor force. We have a competitive wage of from 50 to 135 USA dollar average per month. We have a very suitable domestic labor law, and our labor force is not only active, and it is trainable and semi-trained labor force. We have 46 public universities, 250 private higher educations, and 1,300 TVT colleges, which are graduating to labor force with highly skilled and semi-skilled level. So we have active, abundant, easily trainable, and trained labor force with competitive wage. The second factor is electricity. The electricity in Ethiopia is one of the lowest in the world, which is 3 cents USA cents per kilowatt. It is one of the lowest in the world. The monthly water tariff is 8 cents per month per metric cube, and it is also one of the lowest in the world. The electricity rate is the lowest, the water tariff is the lowest. Land in Ethiopia is a public property. For investment, land is being provided at the promotional rate. The government has also established cluster industrial parks, and there are more than 16 cluster industrial parks which are being leased are only at nominal promotional rate. When putting this, the lowest wage, the lowest electricity rate, the lowest water rate, and the nominal promotional rate land lease, the cost of production in Ethiopia is one of the lowest, even in African standard. So the low cost of production factor is one of the reasons why we are encouraging companies to come and do business and invest in Ethiopia. Besides these factors, political factor, economic, market, low cost of production factor, the government provide a lucrative incentive package who are interested in setting up production units in Ethiopia. There is an income tax exemptions up to 6 years in the manufacturing sector, in agriculture to 9 years, in the pharma sector up to 12 years. Import duty exemption for all capital goods, loss carry forward, export duty exemption, and repatriation of funds. So not only favorable economic, political, but the government is also providing favorable incentive package. So in nutshell, Ethiopia offers the most favorable political, economic, low cost of production, as well as lucrative incentive package. And we invite Indian companies to come and make use of this favorable condition for the mutual benefit of the company and the country as well. Having said that, let me go to my third part of presentation, that is sector-wise opportunities. On my third part of presentation, I will dwell with opportunity in agriculture, in the pharma, mining, and ICT sectors. Ethiopia is an ideal place for investment for commercial farming. In Ethiopia, we have 74.3 million hectares of land suitable for agriculture, out of which 10 million hectares of land are suitable for irrigation. In Ethiopia, there are 18 major agroecologic zones and 49 sub-agroecologic zones. We have a long growing season and abundant water resource, where 122 billion cubic meters of surface water and 2.6 billion cubic meters of groundwater, and every year we are getting close to 1 billion cubic meters of water from rain. So Ethiopia is available suitable land, suitable weather, long growing zones, different ecologic zones, so that Ethiopian climate is suitable for growing over 146 types of crops. Crops which can be produced in Ethiopia includes food crops such as cereals, pulses, oilseeds, and spice, beverage crops, coffee and tea, horticultural crops, fruits, vegetables, herbs, and cut flowers. When it comes to the cut flowers, Ethiopia is the second in Africa exporting cut flowers to Europe and the fourth in the world. Cotton, sugarcane, rubber, palm trees, and so on. So the government is we are looking for Indian investors to come and do commercial farming in Ethiopia and to produce different types of crops which I have already mentioned. It is a suitable climate where we can grow more than 146 different crops. Now the government allowed more than 3 million hectares of land for investment in agriculture. When it comes to agro-processing, we are looking for processing of cereals and pulses, fruits and vegetables, spices, and so on. We are also looking for processing of meat and meat products, fish and fish products, dairy products, processing of edible oils, and so on. In agriculture, there are 4 integrated specialized agro-industrial parks are constructed by the government, where we are looking for investors where in these agro-industrial parks to process cereals, fruits, vegetables, spices, and so on. So Ethiopia is suitable not only for the commercial farming, but it is also suitable for agro-processing. We are looking at Indian companies, especially in the agro-processing zones, because Indian technology in agro-processing is appropriate for Ethiopia, it is affordable and easily adaptable. So we encourage Indians to come and do commercial farming as well as participate in agro-processing. The second sector is pharma. In Ethiopia, the pharma sector is growing at 20% per year. And the Ethiopian pharma sector market is today $1 billion. The government's 10 years expenditure for the pharma sector is more than $15 billion. But in Ethiopia currently we import nearly 85% of our pharmaceutical products and medical equipment. That means we are producing domestically only 15% of the total demand. So there is a huge gap. So we are looking for the Indian investors to come and fill in this gap to benefit both themselves and the country as well. In order to encourage the companies to come and participate in the pharma sector, pharma became one of the strong investment policy focused area. And the committee in this year is chaired by the Prime Minister. To this end, the government had established specialized industrial parks in Addis Ababa, which is called Clinton Pharmaceutical Industrial Parks, with 279 hectares of land. It is specialized only for the pharmaceutical manufacturing, and so we are looking for the Indian companies to come and invest or make production unit in Ethiopia. Out of 44 Indian exports to Ethiopia, the top is pharmaceutical products, which is more than 150 million. So we encourage Indians who are exporting to Ethiopia to come and set up a production unit in this Clinton Industrial Park. The government is offering, besides different incentive package which I have already mentioned, in this specific sector, the government offers advance payments of up to 30% of the value of the offer for those who are manufacturing in Ethiopia, with 25% price preference. If a company produces in Ethiopia pharma products, the company has 25% price preference and the government pay up to 30% in advance for the value of the products. In Ethiopia, the pharmaceutical sector, there is a centralized purchasing system in Ethiopia. So we encourage companies to come and set up a production unit and do business in Ethiopia in the pharma sector. The other sector is mining. Ethiopia is endowed with abundant mineral resources. We have precious and metallic minerals, minerals for industrial and construction purpose. We have minerals for energy, and we have also oils and natural gas deposits. So Ethiopia is major suppliers of gold, tantalum, phosphate, platinum to the world. So we are encouraging those Indian companies who are in the mining sector to come for exploration of gold and related base metals, exploration of tantalum, iron and phosphate, platinum, petroleum, and so on. So there is huge, untapped, abundant mineral resource existing in Ethiopia. And finally, ICT. Information technology was given top priority by the government of Ethiopia. Here we are looking for Indians for the software development, for content development, application, and the database development. We are looking for system integration and the data center services. We are looking for Indian companies for the manufacturing of ICT equipment like computers and peripheral equipment. To encourage companies to come and set up, a unit in Ethiopia, the government has established ICT village in the city of Addis Ababa. Land is not an issue, it is already available, and the government has established an ICT village. It is established industrial park for pharma. It has also established ICT village. So we are inviting Indian ICT companies to come and make use of this opportunity. And my last topic was about Indo-Ethiopian trade and investment relationship. Ethiopia and India, we have a long-lasting economic, political, and commercial relationship, which dates back to 2,000 years. We are trading with Indians since 2,000 years, where Indian traders are linked with ancient port of Adolis in eastern part of Ethiopia, and traded silk and spices for gold and ivory. So the trade between Ethiopia and India started in 2000 and it continued up to today. And today it is close to 1 billion, the total volume between the two countries. And the major Indian export to Ethiopia includes pharmaceuticals, iron and steel, transport equipment, machineries, sugar, paper products, plastics, rubber, electrical and engineering products, chemicals, aluminium, and so on. And Ethiopia export to India is now about 98 million $, and which includes agricultural products, which include such as oilseeds, pulses, and spices. Ethiopia is exporting minerals to India such as gold, tantalum, gemstones, as well as leather and leather products. So there is a huge scope to increase, to expand, and further deepen the trade between the two countries. We have a trade agreement signed between the government of India and Ethiopia in 2017, so we encourage Indians to import agricultural products and the minerals from Ethiopia to further enhance the bilateral trade. When it comes to investments, Indians maintain their reputation in Ethiopia as being the third largest investors in Ethiopia. There are more than 650 Indian companies with licensed investment over 5 billion, out of which more than 400 companies are now operating in Ethiopia with more than $3 billion. Major areas where Indian companies have already engaged in Ethiopia is manufacturing, which is more than 60%, agriculture and floriculture 17%, and you can also Indians engage in consultancy, education, and other sectors. And finally, I would like to Indian companies to come and invest in Ethiopia and do also business in Ethiopia. And in concluding, I would once again want to express our profound appreciation for Madam Sunanda Rajendra, Secretary General of Indo-African Chamber of Commerce, for promoting investment and trade relationship between India and Africa, as well as India and Ethiopia. We are deeply, deeply grateful for what the Secretary General is doing in order to deepen the ties between India and Ethiopia and India and Africa. We encourage all Indian companies to come and set up production unit in Ethiopia and do business, and for that our Consulate General is more than happy to welcome you always. For any further information, please feel free to contact our consulate at any time. We are open from Monday to Saturday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And thank you very much.